Listen to Hollywood's greatest stars in their greatest motion picture roles. The American Broadcasting Company brings you the Screen Guild Theater. Tonight it's Gregory Peck with Ward Bond, Hugh Marlowe, Millard Mitchell, Reed Hadley, and John Kellogg in the transcribed radio premiere of their magnificent 20th Century Fox production, 12 O'Clock High. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Screen Guild players begin their 14th glorious year on the air. And in the weeks to come, you will be hearing all of Hollywood's most famous stars in their most memorable motion picture roles. And here is our curtain raiser, one of the most compelling and dynamic pictures in years. Darrell F. Zanuck's tremendous production, 12 O'Clock High, starring Gregory Peck with Ward Bond, Hugh Marlowe, Millard Mitchell, Reed Hadley, and John Kellogg.
I was in England recently. I was there on business. But it wasn't business that took me down to Archbury, to the quiet countryside beyond the town. A group of tired, sagging buildings off the road. A tall wooden pole with a tattered windsock hanging limply from its peak. A concrete runway stretching off across the fields. The weeds growing wild between the cracks. The grease and oil stains almost faded out. I stood there quietly, lost in my thoughts. And in the sudden rush, it all came back. 1942, the early days of the war. I was Major Stovall then, Group Adjutant with the 918th, the hard luck group they used to call us, tail end Charlies. And Lord Haw-Haw in Berlin was giving us the rad.
Tonight I bring a special greeting from the fighter pilots of the Luftwaffe to the first American pilots in England, the 8th Air Force.
That's all we need.
Losses are a little heavy, aren't they? And remember, these are only shallow penetrations into France. Practice missions, really. What would it be like if you ventured as far as German soil? Let's take the 918th group at Archbury, for instance.
Hey, that's us.
Magalini.
They call you the hard luck group, tail end Charlie. You lost 5 bombers today, didn't you? 5 out of 21. At that rate, it won't take very long, will it? Something pleasant to think about before your mission tomorrow. Oh, yes, Colonel Keith Davenport. You'll have another one tomorrow. You'll be interested to know that your group has been singled out for some special attention by our reception committee. Pleasant dreams, my misguided friends. Good night.
Oh, he's off his trolley. The group's been over twice in 2 days. They couldn't be going back tomorrow.
You're wrong, Sergeant. They are.
Ben, you're kidding.
I wish I were, Harvey. Orders came down about an hour ago. They're going in at 9,000 feet.
9,000? What did Keith say?
Plenty, and he isn't through yet.
What do you mean?
He's gone up to Pine Tree to see the big boys. I only hope he tells them off good.
Colonel Davenport to see General Savage, sir.
Okay, Pete. Come on in, Keith. Well, hiya, fella. What goes?
You ought to know.
The Wailing Wall is just down the hall. Oh, I don't know. I guess this is it. Sit down.
If you're on the level about this 9,000-foot stuff, the boys will drop their bombs here tomorrow instead of St. Nazaire. Now, look, Frank.
Yeah, I know. It won't work. It was tough enough at 19,000. It'll be suicide at 9. The guy who dreamed this one up ought to have his brain in a glass jar at Harvard. Anything else?
You think you're kidding? Look, Frank, you've been a group commander. You didn't lead the first 10 missions for nothing. Why couldn't you tell them what it'll be like?
Keith, I signed the field order.
Why? That's what I want to know. Why?
All right, I'll spell it. At 19,000, we haven't been penetrating the concrete in those submarine pens. We've got to try at least once down low.
See if we can get the job done in one trip instead of fighting our way to the target and back 5 times for nothing.
9,000.
Now, let's allow from here in that when the old man cuts a field order, he's thought about it. If I were you, when I got one, I'd just go ahead and fly it.
Okay. Well, I'd better get back and get the chores done.
No. Stay put a minute now you're here. Thought maybe I'd run down to see you tomorrow. How many you expect to put up?
18.
Pretty bad luck today.
Not good, like always.
It's kind of rough to be tagged as a hard luck group.
You're telling me.
I'd like to help you locate the trouble if I could. What about your formation?
It isn't formation. That's not the trouble. I can tell you where the real trouble is.
All right, shoot.
It isn't down in the groups, it's up here. Do they know up here what my boys have been taking 3 days in a row, that they'll be up again all night to get 18 in the air tomorrow? Now, how much do you think they can take? You know they're falling asleep at briefing. Are you going to drive them until they crack?
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Bomber Command can take it easy, but those boys are flesh and blood. They'll die for you, but they've got to have a chance, and they know they haven't got one. They can add. What do you guys think they're made of?
Now, look, Keith. Yes, sir.
Just got the reports from the groups. Come on up, Frank.
I'll be there in a minute, sir. Now, Keith, we've got a lot of things coming. Replacements, combat limits. But right now, the deal is to hang on. And look, you've got to find a way to save yourself a little. You can't carry all the load. It's too big. Now, go on, take off. I got to see the old man.
There it is, Frank. The same old story with the 918. 5 planes lost today, and they'll only put up 18 tomorrow. It's getting worse instead of better.
Yes, sir.
You say you talked to Keith? What do you make of it?
Oh, hard luck, I guess. There's always some outfit that picks up a jinx.
You don't believe that. Neither do I. I don't believe in hard luck. There's always a reason. What's on your mind, Frank? Spill it.
I'd rather not.
Let's have it with the bark on.
Well, you won't like it. I don't. It's the group commander.
Keith? That's a little funny coming from you. He's your friend.
No, I didn't ask you to ask me.
I didn't mean it to sound like that, Frank.
Well, that's okay.
Funny, on paper, Keith Davenport looked to me like the best group commander we had. Flies every mission, gets more loyalty from his men than anyone. Courage, works hard. I don't know where to fault him. If a man like that can't
Well,
cut
he
it...
can't. Not now. He's going to bust wide open.
Why?
Why? Because he's a first-rate guy. Because those are his boys, and he's thinking of them instead of his missions. Over-identification with his men. I think that's what they call it. And you aren't going to change it either.
Frank, if that's true, we're in trouble. Let's get the car and run down to Archbury. A few things I'd like to find out for myself.
We were 3 minutes late over the target, sir. That's when we got most of it. On our bombing run.
That was a deadly 3 minutes, Keith. The whole idea was to get all the groups over the target simultaneously and at different altitudes so that enemy flak couldn't concentrate on any one group. What made you late?
The takeoff. One of our planes broke through the runway. But I figured we could make up the time, catch up with the other groups, and, well, if it hadn't been for our stinking luck...
Luck? What luck was that?
It wasn't luck, sir. It was my fault.
Zimmy, it wasn't anybody's fault.
I'd like to hear his version, Keith. Lieutenant?
We had to alter the navigation in flight, General Pritchard. We picked up an error, wind change, and I missed a checkpoint. By the time I caught it, we lost 3 minutes. We never made it up.
Shut up, Zimmy. If there is any fault, it's mine, sir. I was in command. I ordered the change in the flight plan. The weather was thick enough. It could have happened to anybody.
Well, I think that covers it. Thank you, Lieutenant. That's all, gentlemen. Keith, you stay, will you? You too, Frank.
Right?
Keith, I know you're tired, but let's talk a little. Let's talk about luck.
Sir?
I don't believe in it. I believe that in some degree a man makes his own luck. Yours has been pretty bad down here, and it's getting worse, not better. Maybe that navigator's in point. He blew it. What are you going to do about it?
General Pritchard, I don't believe in chopping off heads just because of one mistake. I don't think that's any way to run a group.
I feel sorry for the boy, Keith. But what are the men in your group going to be thinking about the next mission he navigates? That he messed up the St. Nazaire mission. It's just that much more load on them. And one day, if they fall apart on you, that won't be luck.
General, if it was anyone else but Zimmerman. He's got 2 strikes on him to begin with. He has to fly every mission, trying to live down his parents. They were mixed up in the German-American Bund. They screened Zimmy plenty before he got overseas. That's what's riding him now.
Look, Keith,
Good navigators are the one thing we're not short of. If you decide you ought to relieve Zimmerman, I'll see that you get a good replacement.
Frank, you might as well ask me to stand him up against a wall and shoot him in the back.
No. No, I won't do it. I just can't do it to him. I won't.
Keith, I guess a man only has so much to give, and I guess you've given it. Effective now, you are relieved of this command, and you will report to me for duty at Bomber Command. I'll send someone down to take over here. Good night, Keith. Come along, Frank.
He took it hard. I knew he would.
Had to be done, Frank. We couldn't afford it. What's that?
It's down the hall. Come on.
What is it, Major? What's happened?
Lieutenant Zimmerman, sir. I thought he dropped in to talk like he always did. But he just sat there staring into space, and then all of a sudden, before I could stop him, We've never had anything like this before. How shall I certify it, sir?
Died of wounds received in action. If there's any question, send his papers to me.
Why'd you stop, sir? Want me to take the wheel?
No, I just want to talk. Frank, there's a hole in the dike. I'm scared stiff. If the 9/18th folds, it can spread to the other three groups. It can fold the whole deal. There's only one hope of shortening this war: daylight precision bombing. If we fold, daylight bombing is done with. You can smell what's coming, Frank.
Sort of.
I'm promising you nothing except a job no man should have to do who's already had more than his share of combat. I've got to ask you to take nice kids and fly them until they can't take any more, and then put them back in and fly them some more. We've got to find out what a maximum effort is, how much a man can take and get it all. I don't even know if any man can do it. That's what cracked Keith. What time tomorrow do you think you can get down there?
Early, I guess.
No squawks, Frank?
It's pretty hard to have one, the way you put it.
Thanks, Frank. Let's go get some sleep.
Captain!
Yes, sir?
How do I address you?
I don't think I quite understand it, General, sir.
What's your rank? How am I supposed to know with your shirt off?
Oh, Sergeant McElhenney, sir, U.S. Army Air Forces.
It's Private McElhenney now. Where's the air exec?
I don't think he's on the station, sir. He left right after Lieutenant Zimmerman's funeral.
No, where's the ground exec?
In the hospital, sir. Mumps.
And the adjutant?
I think Major Stovall's over at the officers' club, sir.
When you get your clothes on, find him and tell him to report to me here.
Yes, sir.
And on your way back, pick up a hose.
A hose, sir?
That's right, a hose. We're going to clean this place up.
Major Stovall, Group Adjutant reporting, sir.
Yes, I remember you, Major. You the only one around?
Probably, sir. I presume you've come down to take over this group.
That's right. You've been drinking, Major?
I have. It is the first time I have been drunk in 20 years, but it may not be the last.
Where's the air exec?
I don't know, sir. It's only an opinion, but I think it's possible Colonel Gately may be drunk too, sir.
I'll take straight answers, Major. Is Gately off the station?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know, sir.
Then send the MPs out and find him and bring him to me under arrest.
Does the general mean under actual arrest?
Exactly. Number 2, cancel all leaves and passes. 3, bring me the personnel files, the 66-1s on Gately and the key staff, including yours.
Yes, sir.
4, set up a meeting for all combat crews in the briefing room tomorrow morning at 0800.
Yes, sir. Is that all, sir?
That's all.
Colonel Gately, air exec, sir. May I ask the General why I've been placed under arrest?
No.
Sir,
Stand at attention.
Yes, sir.
You're the son of Lieutenant General Tom Gately, aren't you?
I believe that's my standard identification, sir.
The son of one fine officer and the grandson of another. A graduate of West Point with 9 years' service. Your 66-1 shows that you have more 4-engine time than any man in the group.
For those reasons, you could have done more than anybody to take the load off Colonel Davenport. But the record shows you've flown only 3 missions since you've been here. Is that right?
If you don't count twice, I turn back, sir.
I take it you don't even care that you helped to break one of the best men you'll ever know. Add to it, as air exec, you were automatically in command here the moment Colonel Davenport left. And you met that responsibility exactly as you met his need. You left the station to get drunk. Gately, as far as I'm concerned, you're yellow. A traitor to yourself, to this group, to the uniform you wear. I hate a man like you so much that I'm going to get your head down in the mud and trample it. I'm going to make you wish you'd never been born.
If that's all, sir.
I'm just getting started. From now on, you're going to get a belly full of flying. You're going to make every mission. You're not air exec anymore. You're just an airplane commander. And I want you to paint this name on the nose of your ship. The Leper Colony. Because you're going to get every deadbeat in this outfit. Every man with a penchant for head colds. If there's a bombardier who can't hit his plate with his fork, you get him. If there's a navigator who can't find the men's room, you get him because you rate him. Is that clear?
General, I have a right to file charges against you for personal abuse and exceeding your lawful authority.
Okay.
And I
Hello, get me Pine Tree. I want General Pritchard. Yes, I'll wait. Rights, Gately, rights. You've got a right to explain to General Pritchard cowardice, desertion of your post, a yellow streak a mile wide. And maybe he can explain it to your father so that they'll both be proud of you. You can tell him right now.
General Savage, I withdraw my statement.
That's all then. Dismissed. Major Stovall. Yes, sir. You called me, sir? Got an order relieving Colonel Gately as air exec. Yes, sir. Anybody else, sir? I'll let you know, Major. Oh, there's one file here. Cobb, squadron commander. He shows a good record in the air. Any recommendations on his personal qualifications? I'm sure the General will be pleased with any selections he makes from this group. Thanks for the help, Major. I'll be around the station.
Yes, sir. Where to, sir? I've been assigned as the General's driver.
Now run me over to the officers' club. Hey, aren't you the clerk that I saw?
Yes, sir. Private McElhenney, sir.
Well, general officers rate sergeants as drivers. You better put those stripes back on.
You can see him through the window, sir. That's Major Cobb at the bar.
Oh, thank you, Sergeant. You can wait out here.
Yes, sir. Something for the General, sir?
Beer.
Yes, sir. Fix you up, Major Cobb? I'm all right, Corporal.
Oh, not quite, Major. Remove your cap in the club.
That's regulations, huh?
It is.
Okay. 1 beer for the General. That's time, sir.
All right, here you are. Have another drink, Major Cobb.
Scotch.
Here, take it out of this, Corporal. Drinks are on me. With the Major's permission.
No regulations against buying my own, is there?
That's right.
I'm buying my own.
Corporal?
Yes, sir.
This bar is closed for tonight, and until further notice.
Yes, sir. Where to, sir?
Well, I'm going to walk. You can run the car back to operations.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and Sergeant,
Sir?
you can tell the adjutant to cut an order. I'm assigning Major Cobb as air exec.
Say, Harvey, I thought he was such a bug for discipline.
He is, Doc. You'll see.
But he called this meeting for 0800, and it's 10 seconds to in it.
And there he is. Attention. Rest. Now, there'll be a briefing for a practice mission at 1100 this morning. That's right, practice. I've been sent down here to take over what has come to be known as a hard luck group. Well, I don't believe in hard luck, so we're going to find out what the trouble is. Maybe part of it's your flying.
So we'll go back to fundamentals. But I can tell you now one reason I think you're having hard luck. I saw it in your faces last night. I can see it there now. You've been looking at a lot of air lately, and you think you ought to have a rest. In short, you're sorry for yourselves. Now, I haven't much patience with this what are we fighting for stuff. We're in a war, a shooting war. We've got to fight. And some of us have got to die. I'm not trying to tell you not to be afraid. Fear is normal. But stop worrying about it and about yourselves. Stop making plans. Forget about going home. Consider yourselves already dead. Once you accept that idea, it won't be so tough. Now, if any man here can't buy that, if he rates himself as something special, with a special kind of hide to be saved, he'd better make up his mind about it right now, because I don't want him in this group. I'll be in my office in 5 minutes. You can see me there. That's all.
I'll take Colonel Davenport any day.
What does it look like to you, Stovall?
Doc, I've better get back over to the office. The traffic's going to be pretty heavy. General Savage, the flight surgeon and the air exec are here.
Oh, they beat you to it, Major Stovall?
How do you mean, sir?
Well, I thought maybe you'd be the first in line to ask for transfer.
No, sir.
But I wouldn't have done you any good. Doesn't go for staff. You're stuck with me.
Yes, sir.
You might tell them out there.
They didn't come for that, sir. They thought you'd want to see them about the practice mission.
Good. Come in, gentlemen.
General, this is our flight surgeon, Major Kaiser.
I'm glad to see you, Doc.
I think you met Major Cobb.
Yes, I did indeed.
I'll be outside, sir.
Good enough.
I don't know if you still want me here, sir, after last night. No need to tell you I was stiff.
Well, stiff or not, you laid it on the line. You got the job after I saw you at the club, not before. Well, you were in the briefing room, Cobb. Do you still want it?
I think I can cut it for you, sir.
You got a deal. Now set up this practice mission. Handle the briefing. Put me in the lead ship with Gately's crew. Tell Stovall I said to cut any orders you want. Anything else?
No, sir.
See you at takeoff.
Right, sir.
Now, what about crew availability, Doc?
Well, we have a very critical morale problem, sir. You gave them the shock treatment this morning, a bucket of cold water. I take it that's the key in which you want me to figure how much stress they can take.
If a man is physically capable of handling his airplane, he goes.
Well, that's definite enough. But some things can't be accomplished just by issuing an order.
Well, have you got a treatment to suggest?
Yes, sir. Ease up. Give them a chance to get used to you, to like you, the way they like Colonel Davenport.
No, Major, for 2 reasons. First, there isn't time. Second, I can't enter a popularity contest with Keith Davenport. I'd lose that one. And one thing more. I think they're better than that.
All right, sir. That's it.
Not all of it. I think I know how deep the problem here is. And I'm convinced that the one thing that will solve it is pride. Pride in this group. The kind of pride that'll make it the last thing a man wants is to be left on the ground. That's my job, not yours. Paint it with iodine and mark 'em duty, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Stovall.
Yes, sir.
Any more callers?
Lieutenant Bishop was here, sir. He came as their spokesman.
Spokesman?
The ones they're going to ask to be transferred.
How many, Major?
All of them, sir.
Oh. All right, that's it. Put their request through squadron channels. Meanwhile, they fly. Anything else?
Well, we made some coffee, sir, if you'd like to have some.
Thank you, Major.
I'll bring it in.
Oh, no, wait. I'll come out there with you and get it.
I'm sorry, all we've got's a tin cup.
Oh, that's fine. You're pretty cluttered up in here. What are those folders for?
They're personal effects of the boys that got it, to be sent to the next of kin. I'm a little behind. I always write a letter.
Yeah, it's a tough chore. Don't envy you. How'd you happen to get into this paperwork?
No choice. I'm a retread. I had my shot at combat the first war, and they figured I was too old for anything else but a desk.
Tell me, you liked Keith Davenport, didn't you? A lot, I mean.
Yes, sir. I thought he was one of the finest men I ever knew.
Yeah, same way the boys felt, I'm sure. Loyalty's a fine thing. Well, thanks for the coffee, Major. Guess I'd better get...
General Savage.
Yes?
I'd like to tell you something else, I think.
Go ahead, Major.
I'm a lawyer by trade, and I think I'm a good one. When a good lawyer takes on a client, it's because he believes in the client's case, and that's all that matters. When I came over to England, I took on my biggest client, the 918th Bomb Group, and I want to see my client win. Does that answer what you had in your mind?
On the button.
What did you have in mind exactly?
Well, I need some time before those transfers
How
go
much
through.
time?
As much as we can get. 10 days anyway.
Well, it'll take the squadron adjutants at least 2 days to draw up all those requests.
Yes?
And let's see, I've got a good deal of stuff on my desk here. Might be 3 days before I get around to them.
That's 5.
Take a couple of days to check them. That'll be 7. Then those squadron adjutants are sometimes pretty sloppy, and I certainly don't want this group criticized for sloppy paperwork. Do you, General?
I couldn't permit it.
So my guess is that every one of these requests may have to go back to the squadron adjutants. And by the time they're done over and the time I recheck them, well, it'll be 10 days anyway before they'll be ready for signature.
What a way to run an outfit. You red tape adjutants are all alike.
That's right, sir.
Still, there's liable to be a little talk. They're apt to hear about it up above, Inspector General. You know, there can be trouble in this hobby.
I don't think so, sir.
Why not?
Speaking out of experience, sir, I never heard of a jury convicting the lawyer.
We will return with the second act of 12 O'Clock High in a few moments.